is not an easy thing. It's just the same way UDA expelling a deputy party leader had its own consequences. Okay.
Absolutely. I agree. I think for ODM, this is a time for reflection, because what Honorable Sifuna is articulating, I think it is the voice of the average Kenyan person. That, look, we have more pressing needs, and we need the focus right now, here we are, before we can speak of 2027. The credibility of Ruto as a re-election candidate in 2027 has to be, sifted, sieved, viewed, or at least tested against the 10-point that ODM is anchoring its involvement with government on. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What wrong is there for Honorable Sifuna to then say that, look, we didn't agree, we haven't sat and had a consensus on the 2027 period. We are here now, and at least he was speaking in 2025. Now we're in 2026. And you hear all these voices ganging up against him saying, you have to go. For what? For what? All he's saying that, look, let's have a focus on the here and the now. When we get 2027, or at least shortly before that, if they had a convocation, if they had a members' political party meeting, and the membership, not just a few isolated people who are probably in Ruto's pocket and they are being paid peanuts in order to voice protest and hate against Honorable Sifuna. The membership itself, the Kenyan people who are members of ODM, meeting and saying that, look, Honorable Sifuna has insisted on the 10-point plan. Show us the score sheet. What have you achieved of those 10 points that Honorable Raila, before his demise, then had said ought to be met? What's wrong with that? And then the convocation, or the people then can say, okay, fine. So far, we see 98% or 50% has been met, and therefore we will go ahead with this. But now to sit in a boardroom and say that, look, before you come and engage ODM, we have to have the deputy president seat. Before and I mean, that's not the way to go. And Honorable Sifuna is saying that, look, as a Kenyan people, as an ODM political party, this is what we should be focused upon. I don't think it is right then to say, oh, Honorable Sifuna has gone off on a tangent. He's now bringing his own views. And I'm hearing now, he's a member of the DCP. I believe, this is my personal belief, hadn't Honorable Sifuna gone to that meeting where His Excellency Gachagua was, then nobody would be speaking and, join DCP and stuff like that, because they were all mute and they were all like saying that, look, but until that happened, this is when now this has reached a higher tempo and everybody is saying that kick out Honorable Sifuna. But they cannot pinpoint to that which he is saying now that he did not say when Honorable Raila was alive. They can't. Because he was, belligerent, quote, if you are to put it out, belligerent as he is, as he was before Honorable Raila passed on. And Honorable Raila, and I disagree with the idea that I think it's Joshua who was saying, or I think Meshach was saying, that, they had let Honorable Raila manage the sort of fallout, if there was going to be any, and Honorable Sifuna would have been disciplined by Honorable Raila. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Let's respect the independence of thought that Honorable Sifuna has. I mean, they have such a brilliant Secretary General who can be able to even to go to media houses and be able to take on their opponents and challenges. You don't want to have a docile, soprano sort of person who comes there and, so muted and they're taking everything that they're being told. They're so beaten up. I mean, this is someone they should be proud of. And someone who is ready to take on the big boys and say that, look, ODM is supposed to be like this. They should credit him for at least that which he has brought.
It is easy.
And lastly, the point that I should make, lastly, before Meshach, because Meshach has all his jabs now. He's right there
Let them take
with all the arrows now, trying to hit. No, hold on. My last point is this. Honorable Sifuna, if he has expressed himself in a way that they disagree with, as their ODM stalwarts, then they should tell him that, look, avoid saying this, and you can now keep within your freedom to say this, but avoid saying this. But not come out and say, no, we're going to kick you out. We're going to kick you. They're intolerant.
Yes,
they are intolerant.
It's simple and easy to chant, kick him out, you're going to leave the party. It's not that easy.